Man, nostalgia trip, right? I was always like curious what the moves were with the like Sharpedo Black Hyper Beam and the Ghostly Fires and the starters doing their own stuff. And as a kid, I never found out. And I always had this hope that it's something like it, Aqua Stream and Violent Flame or whatever. But yeah, welcome to Pokemon Ruby version. I'm playing this game completely vanilla. If you've seen my community post on YouTube, you know, it's just me playing the game that basically started it all for me on a Visual Boy Advance back in 2006, 7, something like that. No, before that. I think 2004 maybe. Anyway, 2004, let's say 2004. The year or a year after it released, I played this. My friend lent me his, Virtual Boy Advance thing, and I just played Pokemon Ruby, and I was like, what the hell is this thing? It's so cool, it's so amazing, I want to play it every single day. And I did, up until basically now, where I'm revisiting it. And yeah, if you've seen my community post, it's just, I'm not really trying to do anything other than play the game and have fun and just talk. And if you guys are here to see me play it, great. If you played it a million times and you're like, well, I already know this game, so I don't really give a shit, then that's also fine. And I'm just gonna play and talk and have a good time. As always, internal batteries out, even though this is an emulator. I'm gonna go with basic frame because that's the way to go, I feel. And I plan to very rarely use the spacebar, which is the speed up thing, right? Because I don't know, I just kind of want to live through it again until I just get extremely bored of the slow pace of anything. Anyway, this is Professor Birch. I'm not gonna like read all the things and talk as if I was the characters because this game is 20 years old. This year it's 20 years since it released, and I'm just gonna assume you guys played it, so it's not like, oh, I'm doing a novel experience, a new game. No, I'm not. I'm just like... Anyway, this is Birch. He's a professor in the Hoenn region. And the funniest thing is, like, at least as far as I know, Pokemon was originally written as a two-parter, right? It was Pokemon Gen 1 and then Pokemon Gen 2. And they never thought about Pokemon Gen 3 up until the point where they said, you know what, this thing is selling too well, let's keep going. So they did, right? I'm just gonna call myself Pap, which is cardboard in Danish. Ah, okay, you're Pap. Yeah, I am. And Little Root, man, Little Root. Yes. But anyway, so Gen 1 and 2, cool games, like a full story. Not only the first game is like, its own thing, because that was the first one, but then, oh, we're in a truck. And we're trucking. This is a very interesting start to a game, honestly. I don't think you normally start in a truck other than in this game. Specifically. And Pokemon logo. And Shelf? Shelf is not Pokemon logo. Before I jump out, let me finish my thought where, yeah, Gen 1, right? Very cool thing. And then Gen 2 kind of wraps it up with another region, but you can go back to the Gen 1 region. And then you fight Red. And how cool was that to fight the guy who you played as? And you were like the strongest guy because you beat the league. And then Gen 3 is like, whoop, here we are. The music. Just listen to the music, take a second. So nostalgic, Jesus, it's been 20 years for me. And I'm still like feeling the first day of even grabbing this thing. Anyway, I'm very glad they did Gen 3. I'm very glad they did Gen 4. And I know nowadays it's more of a hot take, but I'm not so glad they did 5 and onwards. I would be completely fine if Gen 4 was the last Pokemon game and then they said, you know what, Pokemon is its own thing, let's do Pokemon 2 or Pekemon or whatever, and then they did its own thing. I'll be like, okay, Pokemon ended, but now we have Pokemon. Pokemon's not really my thing, which is fine. Anyway, here's my chokes, and for probably many of you who played Emerald mostly, you would think it's Vigoroths, which they are in Emerald, but also what the hell are you doing? I'm pretty sure this is... okay, well. Here's my room, here's a GameCube. I never had a GameCube. And here's a PC. And in the PC is a potion, which I'm gonna take. And I might as well grab a little bit of a snoozer while I'm at it. And I was always confused at the design of the TV, because if you look at it, it has this vertical and horizontal black line, which to me always seemed like it's a lever that you can pull and then you watch it. Like, you know, right at the height of his bandana, or the red thing on his forehead is the top of the lever, and you pull it down and then it's like stung, and the TV starts. I don't know, maybe it's just me. What is the time? I think it's... let's make it 4:20, how about that? 1, 2, 3, 4, and then that is 4:20. It is 4:20 p.m. And it's gonna be 4:20 p.m. forever, because apparently the game thinks that the battery is dead, and last I checked, there's no battery, but... anyway. Petalburg. This was always such a weird name for me. Petalburg. Like, there's nothing petal about it. It's a normal type gym, and there's no real like flower theme. It's like Petalburg. Little roots, and just the design of this place. If you really think about it, how basic it is. It's just a bunch of green grass tiles, some flowers to make it look better, which are animated, by the way, which is cool. Then 3 houses, a few signs, 2 NPCs, right? And the trees that basically mean you can't go any further. Man. Game Boy games, such a treat. I was always very happy to, you know that a new game is coming out. Up until Gen 6, when it was like 3D. Holy shit, it's 3D now. But actually, that was the wrong take, I would say. Pixel art, Pokemon, best Pokemon. Anyway, here's May. Yeah, who are you? Yeah, I'm your new neighbor. And we're gonna fight a few times, and I know the hardest fight with you is gonna be on the bridge. But hopefully I'll prepare. And you might be thinking, what starter am I gonna pick? And if you're thinking that, then it's very good, because I love all the starters from this generation. But alas, you have to pick one. And I think the one that started all for me, like honestly, the one that I picked immediately when I was playing the game for the first time, I'm gonna pick now as well. So imagine you're me, and you're like in this screen, and you're like, what do I do? Okay, blue guy looks cool. Okay, chick guy. Holy shit, a lizard! And of course. And this is not because of the meme. Like, the meme came, 15 years later. Like, literally the first thing I did when I was a kid, I was like, there's a lizard, I'm gonna use it. And then I just started pressing buttons, and it's taking damage. And then I was like, okay, what does the other move do? Haha! Oh, it didn't do anything. Shit. Well, that move sucks. I'm gonna resort to this move, because the other one is bad. Why would I need the other one? And I think everybody played Pokemon like that for the first time, right? Like, tell me you didn't. Tell me you didn't play Pokemon with Hydro Pump, Earthquake, rather than Swords Dance, Double Team, or whatever, right? I think at least. But Pokemon is it's very funny. If we could deconstruct Pokemon, right, to the very core of what it is. Oh, first of all, Trico. It's gonna be a Sceptile. I'm gonna call it Lee. We could think about it like, so what is it at its core when it comes to battles, of course. And it's something I really like to do in general. Let's see our new Trico. It's probably gonna... Oh my god, it's timid nature? Holy, that's great. Wow, that's lucky. I'm gonna do a Swifty save. and we're gonna keep going. But yeah, game design in general for me is really cool when you think about existing games and you think what really goes into them. So for Pokemon, when you think about the battles, right, it's like, okay, I have my guy versus the other guy, and whoever does more damage wins. Which is cool, but it's very basic. It's like every RPG ever is press attack and then see what happens, and whoever attacks better wins. In our case, we're not fighting as us, we're fighting as our guys, so our Pokemon, or pets, which is probably not the best thing to teach the children, to like set their pets against each other, but it's really cool. And then you have like all the other complexities and mechanics that go on top of it, like, okay, so now there's weaknesses and resistances because there's types, and a Pokemon can be of a single type or a dual type. And then moves can be of type. And then of course stab or same type attack bonus is 2 levels above what I'm talking about right now. But in general, like, think about it. If you were part of the original Pokemon design team, right, what would you do? Would you put a triple typing Pokemon? Like, you know, oh, there is a Pokemon that's like, absorb, thank you. Used to be my favorite. Giga Drain used to be my favorite move because it dealt damage and restored your HP. Like, come on. But anyway, like, think about it, right? So you're on the team and people are like, okay, so we have this idea where you catch bugs, because I think that's how the whole thing started, with one of the Nintendo guys just catching bugs and being like, hell yeah, I want to trade bugs, so why not make it a game? And then you want to be like, alright, so come help us design it, right? Here we get a potion, by the way. And you're like, okay, well, if I have this Pokemon that's like both hot and warm, but also flies, how about ice, fire, flying? And it sounds cool, right? Like, triple typing Pokemon sounds cool, but then you really have to think about it like, that's very complex. Out of the gate, that's super complex. I'm gonna train a little bit before May, because I always see a crit happening, I don't know why. And those guys will be like, well, that's cool, but we already have a single type Pokemon, and dual type is already kind of okay, sure. But triple type? What the hell, right? Like, imagine the calculation. Ah, see, there's a crit, but thankfully from the 60, from her torching. Why am I not using Absorb, by the way, guys? Why didn't you tell me? Yeah, right? So, like, all the calcs that we have to do in order to calculate the damage that happens to a triple typing Pokemon. What about, like, you know, team building, is it? Yeah, it's team building in this case. Because I was thinking about deck building, but it's, yeah, a different game. It's like, you know, Poochyena. Oh, level 4, nice. So all those types, like, what if a type, what if a move was dual type? Like flying press later on, right? It's only one move because they're very conservative about it. It's like, you know, what happens if you have Scald, it's both fire and water. What if, or if, you know, Pokemon started with no abilities, but then what if Pokemon had 2 abilities? Well, now they kinda do, right? With like the Force Rider guy. I always forget his name, Calyrex. It's just all these things where you really can dissect the game and think about what was first and what came later, and how you would make, you know, how you would contribute to the game's design. It's really, really cool for me. I used to do it with my friends on Discord, like, I don't know, 4 years ago, where we would make up new moves. Some of them actually made it into a server. If you ever want to check a custom showdown server, then I have a video on it. Actually, maybe a bunch of them, but there's a few. And Mega Garbodor. Oh, look, this Zigzagoon had a berry. That's rather rare. Yeah, his health is back to full almost. That's rather rare. Nice. Maybe we'll find Mirage Island. I already found a Mirage Island once in a live stream on Emerald, but still. But we used to make these, you know, kind of cool thinking about how to create a move, keep it in balance, also fill some sort of niche, because of course you can make a move that says, hey, there's a move, it hits for 150 base power, has 90 accuracy, maybe paralyzes. Like, cool, right? But we already have a lot of those, and what's fun about that? Not much, I would say, at least, but... and yeah, and the funniest thing is, like, back in the day when I used to do these, or those, it's like, okay, I'm really thinking about, here's an idea for a move, but, you know, it could really derail. Like, for example, what I made was, I think I called it Vengeance, just Vengeance, or something Vengeance, and it was for Mega Garbodor, because Mega Garbodor is Ghost Poison, right? I was like, for every fainted Pokemon in your party, the move gets extra power. And I think I was like, it caps at 140, 150, something like that. It's basically rather, or actually super weak at the beginning of the game, but if you're like conserving your Garbodor or Mega Garbodor to be your late game sweeper, your cleaner, like your Winfon, then all your 5 Pokemon just bite the dust, and then you're like, haha, but now my move is 150 or 140 or whatever, right? And Game Freak does the same freaking thing, but with the Hound Stone whatever guy, and they don't balance it. I think it's like 200 something power, right? Could be wrong, because I really don't care about the latest Pokemon games. I can't care about them, is the thing. Like, the moment I start caring or trying to care about them, they do something which is like, okay, you know what, I actually, sorry, never mind, I don't care. But I think they did that. I think it was like ridiculously overpowered to the point where a very mediocre Pokemon got banned to Ubers because of the move. So it just goes to show that, you know, some people care and some people don't, and I think Pokemon is at the stage where they really don't care. They just make games and think, okay, well, let's see what kind of makes people tick, rather than let's create the best experience you can, or we can. Anyway, let's see if she scores any crits. Yep. It always happens. It always happens. Tell me one example of a battle with May where a crit didn't happen on her side. 69 experience. Beautiful. Beautiful. Alright. And actually, another reason why I'm doing this Let's Play, or Chillthru, let's say, Chillthru, because Let's Plays to me are like of a new game, or a game you haven't likely played, and everybody played Ruby, right? But this Chillthru is, the reason why I'm doing it is also to just kind of really take a second and play the game. Because nowadays a lot of people, or actually a vast majority of people, I think, if I risk the statement that 90% of all videos about games now are challenge runs or some sort of can I beat or whatever, you know, that are not new, of course, because if a game is new then you don't really have the time. But nowadays, if a game is new, then within a week or even a few days you already have those challenges. But nowadays people don't really do a playthrough of a game where they don't game it, where they don't say, there's a game but I'm gonna create my own game inside and say I wanna only play with this or only play with that or beat it within blah 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 or speedrun it. Because of course I understand people are getting bored with the game if they played it a lot and they want to play it more, but they have to have a reason for it, which is completely fine, and I understand it, I do it too. But in this case I just want to literally play the game and kind of really, you know, pay attention to it. Like, describe the stuff that I see, read the comments if you guys have any on your experiences, and kind of, like, for example here, I always thought that Birch was a woman, purely because if you look at his sprite, then I always thought that the hair, what's it called, like bangs, I think, or whatever, are eyebrows. Like these two black pixels, like here. So you see his eyes, right? And then there's these two black pixels that touch the eyes. I always thought there were eyebrows and made it kind of this angry-ish looking expression. And I thought that was kind of an expression of a woman character. So I was like, this person who gave me a Pokemon is a female. But alas, it's not, and it doesn't really matter to me. But see, this is the kind of thing, right? You don't really have time to talk about stuff like that when you're like speedrunning through it with only one Pokemon, and then only talking about like leader battles, gym leader battles, because that's what's interesting, and then the lead four and the league, and then the video is over, and you're like, can I beat Pokemon Ruby with only Sunflora? Yeah, I can. Okay, bye, right? It's kind of my thing here. So no, this is, and it's gonna be completely unedited, guys. I will not edit any of these videos at all. I'll just record it, upload it, and start a new one, because I really, first of all, my editing software crashed, and I can't be arsed, first of all, buying, and second of all, getting a new one. Or learning, sorry. I mean buying and learning a new one, because I don't know, I just don't have the time. I honestly don't have the time. I'm pretty tired after work every day, and I just want to vibe, and this is how I vibe. I record it as if I was playing it myself, just talking, and then upload it. And again, as the post said, I really don't mind if these videos make 100 views out of 160 subs. I mean, let's be honest, 80% of that is dead subs, right? But anyway, I don't mind. And I don't mind if you fall asleep to it, because maybe that's also what you would like to do. I actually did it a lot with, what's the guy's name? Chugga Conroy back in the day. I don't know if you remember, but Chugga Conroy did a video series on Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. And boy, nothing put me in a better mood for sleep than that video, or those videos, sorry. It was like, I watched the entire thing, his entire series of Majora's Mask, I think like 4 times over, legit. Because at various points in my life, I was just like, if I can't fall asleep, I'm gonna put on Majora's Mask and really get into the vibe, because that's the thing, he really gets into the vibe. He's the old school of YouTube. It's like you play the game for the experience of playing a game with someone, rather than you sitting down, you know, putting a can of Coke on your desk and just playing a game. It's someone playing the game for you in an experienced or experience-based matter, right? Or manner, rather. Which to me, that was the quintessential thing. It's just not the screaming at the screen, and not the jump scares, and not the, you know, oh, can I beat blah 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 blah. It's literally, I don't have the game, or I really want someone else to show me how to play the game, and they do it and I watch it. That was the shit. Okay, I'm gonna quickly wrap it up when we get to Petalburg. I'm gonna beat these trainers, get those berries, and then heal, and then wrap it up here. And but yeah, just let me know in the comments. I mean, I always like it a lot when you guys are super positive in your responses. When I, you know, log in and check out responses to the community posts, and everybody's like, we're supporting you, you do you, we love when you're doing things you like, which is really great, and don't get me wrong, I love it. But you don't have to write it if you don't feel like it. As in, if you feel like just saying, hey, that was cool, I want to see more, that's enough. You don't have to go, oh, that was great, your choice to do this. You know, you don't have to. All I'm saying is you don't have to. Feel like it, of course, go ahead. But I don't really want to make it so that the, you know, the post looks like I'm, I don't know, like thinking, oh, I'm such a poor guy who doesn't get views anymore, and I'm blah blah blah. Oh shit, that had a lot of damage for level 3. Holy shit. And please guys, tell me that I'm amazing, and please tell me that you're gonna watch my videos even if I don't, blah blah, right? Because for someone who doesn't care about me or my content and just goes in to see it, and sees me saying I decided not to chase the golden goose of YouTube because I don't care and I'll leave it to other people, and then you guys saying, oh, it's amazing, we support you. It's super nice. It's really super nice, but someone else might think like, well, wow, that's just a weird circle of, you know, like guy crying over his thing. The thing is, I'm not crying at all. I'm vibing. Last Tiana. And by the way, have you ever noticed how weird the color choices are on the console? It's like a red outline and then this weird gray, blue, green looking thing. This is the weirdest one by far. I think normally it's like white or some sort of color that's like very plain. This is a very weird mix they put on this in Gen 3. I'm talking about the thing which is where the text is displayed, right? It has a red outline and a black box. Sorry, there's a black box and then inside is a box with rounded edges with red outline and like gray, green, blue fill. Super weird. And then another very funny thing is that between Ruby and Sapphire and Emerald, the font changed. Like I don't understand why they made that decision, but it was always very weird to me that the font changed. Out of all the things that they could have changed, they added the sprites and blah blah blah, but they changed the font. Like if you don't know what I'm talking about, like look at my screen now, and then Google any Emerald or open up your Emerald and see how the font is way different. The zeros would be more round, like for example level 10, right? The 0 would be way more round than this super thin thing, and the letters would be spaced better. And I don't know, it's really weird that they decided to change the font out of all things. Quick attack, nice. Too bad we're timid, but Leaf Blade is gonna carry. Like, don't worry, I know already. I played this game a bajillion times. Leaf Blade is going to carry. As soon as we get Leaf Blade as Grovyle at level 24, I think? 20 something. Okay, we're nearing 30 minutes, so I'll cut it short, or cut it short. I'll stop it here when we just beat the Zigzagoon who missed it. Bruh! How can you miss a tackle if I'm not moving? Anyway. Alright, so next time we're gonna play more of Ruby and gonna talk more about all the random stuff. If you have anything that you would like me to talk about, like ask me and want me to answer, or wanna have my take on something, then please write a comment and say, hey Papa, thanks for the video, blah blah blah, or you know, whatever. How about you talk about X? And I'll be like, okay, well, if it makes sense, I might talk about X. If it doesn't, I won't, because I don't care. But yeah, it's been nice. Let's save up our game. So far, reliving the memory. Great. Really like it. Alright, that's gonna be it. Yeah, thanks for watching for those who did. If you fell asleep, then good night, I guess. And I'll see you next time on more Ruby. Bye bye.